Hey! So today I will be discussing with you the topic of moral panic. So what is a moral panic? Well, as defined in our Week 2 tutorial, a moral panic is a large, widespread sense of fear. It is often a threat to things such as society's morals, values and safety, and are almost always caused and inflated by the media. So the perpetrators that cause moral panic are seen as usually enemies of society, as they are associated with threats to our social systems. This idea is explored in one of the extra readings that was put onto Blackboard called Moral Panic, an introduction from Moral Panics, the social construction of deviance. This reading also brings attention to how society reacts to wrongdoers when disregarding moral order. Basically, society just freaks out, which leads to strengthening and renewing laws, hiring more police, increasing arrests, and just an overall crackdown on any behaviours or anything that may link or lead to a moral panic. In this way, moral panics can most definitely lead to increased social control. I feel that this idea directly links to an idea that I found online. Moral panic can quite often be damaging in regards to people's class, gender, sexuality, race, or anything that is considered marginalised within a society. Moral panics can quite often draw attention to widely known stereotypes. A really well-known example would be the Sydney Lindt Chocolate Cafe siege. Basically, after this shocking incident, there was just so much racism within Australia. Basically, people associated the wrongdoer with other people from his country and making this enormous assumption that they're all the same, which obviously is not the case. This idea was directly addressed in our Week 2 reading. This reading was called Integrating Popular Culture, Key Questions. So on page 10 it states, moral panics tend to argue for the elimination or censorship of violent imagery by painting these groups or their representatives as a threat to normal society. So in this way, moral panics can most definitely cause divisions within groups of society. The Sydney siege example directly links to what was said in the reading because it does just that. It creates a divide between races as well as grouping them all together as a whole race because one representative did a horrible act and now they're all associated with the same traits. Another notable example of a moral panic is the Salem witch trials. People were so hyped up over the fact that there were witches living among them that they became way too blind to see the truth. I feel like this is a great example of how a small whisper can be twisted and turned into something so powerful and so destructive so quickly.